It's groundsmen. And how precious they are about the pitch. Walked across the corner of the pitch. The groundsman was scowling at me. What damage am I going to do? Why are they so protective of the pitches? Plus, you got to be weird to be a groundsman. It's like psychopathic. You have to be a psycho to do it. Is it hard to be a groundsman, though?
In winter, it's brilliant because grass don't grow. You've got nothing to do.
Yeah. Do you know what they've done here, Jack? They've just threw £1 million at a new pitch.
Yeah.
That's not the groundsman. That's £1 million. It's just dandelions everywhere, thistles. Yeah. So that should be, if when you have an interview with a groundsman, you should have to go around and look at the grass.
Advertising for a new groundsman. Show us your lawn.
Show us your lawn.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Reelturfpros. Today we're going to break down a video that was aired on Sky Sports RL Rugby League the other day. And it's what I would call a chewing gum thought. It's been buzzing around in my brain for the last few days, and here's my creative output from it. The video again was aired on the Bench Pod on Sky Sports RL this week. It was hosted by former player Sam Tompkins, current player Jack Welbsey, and my new mate John Wilkin. We'll talk quite a lot about John. The other two will get off rather easily. In this video, the subject of groundsmen came up, and it's been quite a controversial subject and it's caused a bit of a stir. So I'm going to comment on it, unpack the video, give you guys my opinion, and see what we say. In the interest of fairness, I have to say that John Wilkin has obviously had some negative feedback from this, and he's put a social media statement out here. It looks like LinkedIn to me, so I'll just read that out and give you my feedback to that. I'm sorry for the words I used to describe groundkeepers on the Bench Pod last week. It was a light-hearted conversation, and I genuinely didn't mean to cause offence to anyone. Following the deeply unfunny topic of what is meant to be a very, very, very light touch podcast. Cool? Okay. Let's react to that. Don't worry, John, my old chum. We're not in the arena of offence here, are we? So my reply will also be light-hearted and very, very, with a very, very, very light touch. You can be assured of that. I'll try my best anyway. I upset a group of very valued members of the sports community, grounds maintenance staff. Credit to the GMA, Grounds Management Association, for sticking up for their members, Ben Weatherall's Ground Management Association. Now, I don't know if the following is a statement from Ben or if it's John's words, but I'm still going to react. It's an incredibly intricate job that doesn't get the credit it deserves. It's blighted by stereotypes and struggles to retain talent. Could it possibly be blighted by stereotypes because of people saying things out of context, like pundits? It's not just you, John. In my opinion, pundits should stick to what they do, is commentate on what they know on, keep politics and things they have no opinion on to themselves. That's just my opinion. Gary Lineker. And yes, correct. It's very difficult to retain staff in this high-pressure environment that we work in, with heavy pitch use, that we try to keep to a minimum. Then that's one of the points that will come up in this video. Okay. What else does John's "Please Feel Sorry For Me" post say? Oh, I love this one. As the son of a farmer, I understand many elements of the job. The last thing we need is uncalled for critique while battling the elements, budgets and Elton John concerts on a Wednesday evening. I've heard this one many times in my career. Son of a farmer, so I understand. I used to work as the head groundsman in one of the best rugby clubs in the world for 13 years. And the manager came to me one day, this is quite ironic, we were having a tit for tat, and he said to me, "I understand your job because my uncle was a farmer." And I said, that's the equivalent of me saying, I understand your job as a rugby union coach because I'm a world champion figure skater. Let that one sink in, John. Next. Moving on. My comments were designed to be funny and tongue-in-cheek, but I realise sometimes I'm not funny and can be quite hurtful and disrespectful. For that I apologise. All I'll say to that, John, is you've saved me a lot of hassle and stress of replying to that about whether you're funny or not funny in your own reply. All I'll say is, if we're ever in the same cocktail party, I'll be avoiding you based on your sense of humour. Keep up the amazing work, grounds maintenance staff. Don't let waterlogging or bacterial wilt stop your pursuit of immaculate playing surfaces? Thanks, John. I really appreciate that. It's nice to know that you got my back because you understand farming. We'll keep on marching forward and doing everything we can to provide great surfaces and stop diseases like bacterial wilt by keeping people off the pitch as often as we can. There'll be a running theme to this. So without any further ado, let's crack into the video and break it down. With a light-hearted response and very, very, very light touch. Okay, here we go. I need a beer for this one to keep me calm.
It's groundsmen and how precious they are about the pitch. Walked across the corner of the pitch. The groundsman was scowling at me. Mate, you've got essentially 30 cows just about to run on the pitch. Like, what damage am I going to do? Why are they so protective of the pitches?
Okay, let's take that one apart. Why are we so protective about our pitches? I get that you might not think it's a big problem with the attitude of, oh, we don't cause that much damage, what's your problem? Okay, what you fail to understand is, if we let you go on that pitch, and Tom, Dick and Harry, just for this, just for that, very soon, there'll be people all over the pitch. The cumulative effect of that over the course of a season causes major damage, whether you think it does or not. Well, let's go a bit deeper. One thing I've learned in over 15 years as a stadium head groundsman is really, truly, honestly in my opinion is, we work tirelessly to make that grass, that pitch look awesome. And people just want to go and walk on it. Important people just so they can take a little selfie or whatever it may be. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think people just want to walk on it. And in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, that's very childish. But getting to your point, an 85 kilogram man walking on a pitch with trainers, what damage does that really do? Quite a considerable amount actually, John. When you're out there and you're stood there and you think you're standing still, if you're being told to keep still on the pitch, most people don't even bother with that, you're still imperceivably moving your feet a little bit all over the place with 2 or 3 other people. The damage comes quite considerable. Your feet press the leaves of the grass against the soil and it sticks. And if that's not raked or brushed up very quickly, then those blades will die. So the grass in those areas, parts of it, will die, whether you think it will or not. Now, how can grounds managers quickly lift up and brush that grass when you're doing things like that before, during and after games when they're trying to repair? There's your answer. Yes, it'll cause damage. So as much as you think it won't cause any damage, the last thing we need is 30 cows going out there plus 1 donkey. Next.
Plus, you got to be weird to be a groundsman. They're all weird, aren't they?
Just to constantly cut one patch of grass.
Hands up, John. You got me there. I'm weird. I'm definitely a weird person. I am a self-proclaimed weird man. And yes, many of my fellow professionals, in order to do the job we do, are very weird and borderline psychopathic. You kind of have to be in this profession when, you know, from time to time you come across some strange and egotistical people on your pitch. Just joking, John. This is a light-hearted joke, you know. Very, very light touch. I'll tell you what else is weird, though. What else is weird? It's my opinion here. I think it's weird to go through your career, at the end of your career, then put on a microphone, a nice suit, and just talk about a game you're not involved with anymore. I think that's a bit weird. But again, just my opinion. A cynical person, a negative person, could say that it's sad to become a commentator and comment on players that are nowadays better than you ever were on pitches nowadays that are better than you ever played on. But I wouldn't do that, John, because I'm not cynical. I'm a nice guy. And the truth of the matter is, I've got no idea what it's like to be a rugby player or the rigmaroles involved in it and the politics. So I'll keep my mouth shut about things that I have no opinion of. I just stick to things that I know of.
But yeah.
Is it hard to be a groundsman, though? It doesn't.
Tough job.
Tough job.
Seems my new mate John here gives me perfect moments to pause this video with his little bouts of derisory laughter. I digress. Yeah, let's talk about that. How hard is it to be a groundsman? Well, when you consider the long hours we do, 15 plus on a match day in the same building up, physically and mentally challenging, having to be in charge of your staff and their safety and their health when working with dangerous machinery, the upkeep of the machinery, notwithstanding the health and safety of the players that play on your pitches. The myriad of things we do to stretch the length and the breadths of science to provide those perfect surfaces and constantly push those boundaries. I'd just like to take this moment to talk about Jack in the middle. Quite like Jack. Keep watching. Yeah, me and Jack are alright. Quite happy to pull the other lads apart. But no, right now Jack's giving me good vibes. And I'll come back to that. So, hard job. Moving on. As I always said before I move on with this barrage of nonsense.
In winter it's
Yeah.
brilliant because grass
Yeah.
don't grow, you've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Oh God. Well, where do I go with this one? All right. Most people look at the grass on TV and absolutely no idea what goes into it, and that's fine if you keep your opinions to yourself. But to say that we have nothing to do in winter is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. Sorry, mate, but you were doing all right. I wasn't digging you out. I was just picking on John here, but that is a stupid thing to say. Let me tell you why. Those British people invented these sports. So we also invented the techniques needed to keep these pitches in good health and good condition. So that's probably got a lot to do with why we're all mad, weird, crazy psychos. Because we have to push the boundaries of what you can get away with and what you can do with the grass surface in winter, when, accurately as said, it doesn't grow. And we do that with pure passion and pure hearts, day in, day out, because we really care about the asset that is our pitch to provide a safe and awesome surface for awesome sport that we're all fans of to be played on. We all care, including us groundsmen. We've pushed the boundaries in terms of undersoil heating, fans to keep good air movement and prevent disease, growing lights, agronomy at its top level using the top end fertilizers, understanding evapotranspiration rates of how the plant respires according to the temperature and exactly how much water is needed for that plant every day down to the millimetre. That's the sort of thing we do here. Being a mechanic, being an engineer, fixing things, being in charge of the lives of young vulnerable people and trying to be an inspiration to them in very adverse conditions. Adapting to changes in the climate, new diseases that come along, usually down to people going on the pitch too much, and anyway, I could go on. Next.
Winter is
Yeah.
brilliant because grass
Yeah.
don't grow, you've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still hear like, I think they just love it, don't they? This is like their little baby.
No.
Innit?
Yes, Jack. Absolutely nailed it, Jack. I like you. I can tell that you're a good guy. But yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Professional to professional. The pitch is our baby. We absolutely love what we do. That's why we make strange rants defending ourselves like this. Sorry, guys.
Baby,
No,
innit?
do
The
you know what
grass.
they've done here, Jack? They've just threw £1 million at a new pitch.
Yeah.
It's good for us.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but the
better than what we were
groundsman,
playing
that's
on.
not the groundsman. That's £1 million.
God, this guy. Jesus. Do you know what, John? I'm going to say right here, right now. Get my details, Reelturfpros@gmail.com. Get hold of me. You're quite welcome to come over here to Marseille with me. Take you out for beers at night. Come and do a day's work for me. See how hard work it is. That's an open invitation for you to come and see what a day's work with a groundsman is like. That's not the groundsman. That's £1 million. My God, son. You are a naive person. Let me break that down too. The money that the players earn, that you earn, a lot of people, working class people out there would call that extortionate. You wouldn't get a penny of this money if we didn't help be a fundamental part of developing these pitches so that they consistently look great on TV to sell for television companies. So you wouldn't even have a job if it wasn't for us guys. Do you think we just randomly chuck £1 million at a random contractor or a random engineer dude? Or do you think we don't even get a say in the factor of this with the £1 million, John? Do you understand that it's people like Richard Campy who started from grassroots level with a passion for the industry and invented and engineered and entrepreneurially made himself quite a wealthy person by making machinery that make it look so good as it does today? Also companies like Grassmaster who stitch synthetic fibres into the pitch so that it the roots grow around that and you get much more carrying capacity, which is hours that can be used on the pitch to a limit. We're up to 600, take into factor concerts and all that, we're up to 600 hours of use. So one little commentator wanted to stand on it for another 10 minutes. No, sorry, we've pushed it to the limit. Do you think the person who invented the Grassmaster and the stitching was just some random engineer, just somebody with a clipboard there? No, it started from an idea, from a skilled groundsperson who understood the biology, the biota of the soil, the pressure, the stress that the plant comes under. It came from there. The dynamic evolution of what we do is because, to quote Jack, we love our babies. It's our baby, we love it. But we'll do everything we can to push the levels of sport to the highest we can get them to. And that sort of level of entrepreneurialism, engineering, that sort of thinking costs £1 million. And we, as a collective of psychopathic, weird professionals, engineer ways to make better surfaces for now and the future of our sport with passion. There's some faith in this. What else I was going to say?
It's just dandelions everywhere, thistles.
Yeah.
So that should be, if when you have an interview with groundsman, you should have to go around and look at the grass.
Advertising for a new groundsman. Show us your lawn.
Show us your lawn.
All right, fair enough, lads. That's cracking. And yeah, to be fair, you done my head in a little bit here and I had to react there, but we've got to leave this on a positive note, and I'm hamming it up a bit and there's quite a bit of tongue-in-cheek going on here, but that is a cracking idea. Why don't we make a little movement here? Hashtag shows your lawn. I think that's a nice way to end it all. I live in a hotel at the moment, so please, my fellow professionals out there, get pictures of your lawn out there, even if it has got dandelions and thistles in it, because, you know, some of us can't be bothered when we go home. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. Do that. What about this? Why don't you tag your picture of your lawn? Hashtag my lawn. You can even put your pitch on there if you wanted. Why don't you tag at Sky Sports RL, or Sam Tompkins, or Jack Welbsey, or my mate John Wilkin with your lawns? Even better, why don't you share this video of my reaction with those guys and see what they think about it? And again, open invitation for a conversation, guys. If you ever want to follow up, be able to come over and see me at Marseille. You'll see how passionate we are, weird, crazy and fun. Anyway, big love. We all love what we do in our profession. I hope this provided a little smile and a chuckle for one or two people. And shameless plug, if any of those guys want any more information, or if anybody wants any more information about what we go into, I highly recommend my love and my passion. I'm proud to be the partner of istma, where especially John could learn a thing or two if he did our course on grounds management. So that's my positive solution to this video. Thanks for tuning in, and see you for another episode of Reelturfpros. Goodbye.